Hi guys, Richard Phillips back at you with some more modern action. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit interesting. When the banned and restricted announcement came out a couple of days ago, Oren and I immediately decided that we needed to test. Hi everyone, Richard Phillips back at you with a little bit of something interesting here today. A couple of days ago, when the banned and restricted announcement was released unbanning Jace and Bloodbraid Elf, one of my buddies on the Blue White X community on Facebook messaged me. He has a YouTube channel and he said, hey, I'd like to make some content playing a Jace deck. Would you be willing to put together something to play against me? And I said, sure, that sounds like a lot of fun. So we played some post-ban or post-unban modern a couple of days ago. I recorded my section of it. He recorded his section of it. His section has been up on YouTube for a couple of days. My section, unfortunately, a lot of the data actually got corrupted. There was issues with the microphone and some background noise, so very little of it was keepable. However, the first match is available, so I decided I'd post it. This is more or less a plug for his channel as well as my other content, but you'll see some sweet action from an Elves deck. The reason why I chose Elf was because I knew that my opponent was going to be playing Jace as well as Liliana in his deck. I knew that he was brewing a Sultai list, and I wanted to pick a deck that hopefully could get under that. The goal was basically to mitigate the number of times, or minimize the number of times my opponent would cast, Oren would cast Jace the Mind Sculptor. And as you'll see in the video, we did a pretty good job with that. So this list is pretty standard. The sideboard's a little bit interesting. The only major thing is that I'm a little bit less on the Vizier of Remedies combo with the Devoted Druid, Vizier of Remedies. This can create infinite mana with these. I'm down 1 Devoted Druid, and I'm up on 2 Lead the Stampedes, which I thought was going to be more important post-ban, especially with Jund decks being all around. This is really good against spot removal. We get pretty basic land base. We got 4 of each of the mana, or Elves, plus 4 Nettle Sentinels, 4 Dwayne's Elite, 4 Arc Druid, 4 Azuri, 4 Cord, 4 Collected Company. Pretty standard there. Sideboard, we got some cool things, especially in this matchup, the Sultai matchup. I'll post the link to the opponent's view of this match, as well as one more match that we did with this Elves. And then later I played some Tron and got slaughtered by just a regular blue-white deck with Jace, which you guys can take a look at. I thought it was kind of funny from the Tron perspective, even. The sideboard here's got a couple of cool things. For this matchup in particular, we have Eternal Witness, which is really good at just rebuying stuff. We've got Phyrexian Revoker, where we can name some of their Planeswalkers. We've got another Lead the Stampede to try to gain some card advantage. Tajuru Preserver is really in for Eldrazi Tron, but also has some really important synergy with Liliana, especially if we think the game's going late, where our opponent's going to be plussing and minusing the Liliana over and over again. Tajuru Preserver doesn't allow our opponent to -2 us. We can't sacrifice permanents, which is really cool. Scavenging Ooze has some utility. Shaper's Sanctuary is really good against their Fatal Push, Abrupt Decay, Maelstrom Pulse type removal. So I'll bring these in. This is a new card from Ixalan. It says whenever a creature becomes target of a spell or ability, you may draw a card. So if our opponent Fatal Pushes one of our creatures, we get to draw a card off of it. So they're actually not gaining any advantage, really, by Fatal Pushing it, other than some tempo. Selfless Spirit's also really good. Our opponent will probably be bringing in Damnation and Maelstrom Pulse and stuff like that, where we want Selfless Spirit. It's also just good in combat to block. So with that, guys, I'll let you watch the one match that was survived through the video recording. I just want to thank you guys for tuning in. If you want me to make more Elf videos, I absolutely will. This is a deck that I've been playing for a little while, not super competitively. You could talk a little bit about my sideboard decisions. I'm not sure exactly how good they are. I was playing against a deck. I didn't really know what was in my opponent's deck. I didn't know if there were counter spells, dispels, things like that I had to play around. I don't think we saw any counter magic, but in times I was playing around counters just because I didn't know what was in my opponent's deck. He didn't really know what was in my deck, so it seemed kind of fair. Once again, guys, thanks for watching the videos after this. There's no ending to it because it kind of got cut off right in the middle. But stick around. I'll have more content for you, even more Elves, more Control. Just let me know what you want. Thanks. Alright guys, welcome to round one. We have won the die roll, which is going to be key in this matchup because we are going to get slaughtered. So here we go, we'll keep this hand. I'm not sure if we can keep this or not. It's going to be close. This hand gets ripped apart by discard, and Fatal Push is really bad for it. I think we're going to keep it and just trust in the heart of the cards. We turn off our own upkeep stop. Our opponent plays Dark Slick Shores, and they're probably going to Fatal Push this elf. Alright, they got an Inquisition. This is good. This is very good for us. So our plan here is to just kind of flood the board. This isn't a... This isn't a wildly interesting game at the moment. Let's see. We're definitely going to play this on Elf. And we're going to go ahead and get an Azuri out on the battlefield. Alright, so our opponent has creatures and disruption and planeswalkers and just literally everything that we can't beat. So we're going to have to get very, very lucky in order to win this match. We need our opponent basically to tap out for a Bob or something like that here. If they tap out for a Bob, we can play Heritage Druid into Collected Company and then hopefully win from there. Alright, our opponent played a Goyf. This is excellent. Alright, so we're going to play Heritage Druid here. Then we're going to play Nettle Sentinel here. Then we're going to tap these for mana. Collected Company, untap the Nettle Sentinel. That's not a good one for us. We got two Devoted Druids means that we can generate infinite next turn. So we'll take both of them. Now we have infinite mana for next turn if we can untap. See if our opponent has removal. Alright, we want to regenerate those there because that means that if our opponent tries to kill these, we should still be able to go infinite with the Azuri and the Devoted Druids. So we'll see here. Looks like we're going to get the go-ahead to go ahead and go infinite here. Alright, so we'll go ahead and generate infinite mana. All right, cool. So we just had to click through it a little bit there, but we were able to finally get there, which is really good. All right, so we got game one. Let's see. All right, so we're going to bring in Revoker, because Revoker, we can name a few different things with Revoker that are pretty good. Namely Jace and or Liliana. We're also going to bring in an Eternal Witness, because that'll let us rebuy some stuff. This is definitely the matchup for Lead the Stampede, so that's going to come in. We'll bring in 2 Shaper Sanctuaries. The Rest in Peace probably has some usage here. The Selfless Spirit's probably not bad. The Tajuru Preserver is also pretty good. Some cards that we can cut in this matchup, that because they aren't as great, we're going to trim on our Devoted Druid combo. I know we were able to win the game that time with it, but it's not actually all that great in this matchup. Actually, I think because we're bringing in so many non-creatures, I don't think we can play all of these preservers and stuff. I'm going to cut some number of Court of Calling, because Court of Calling is actually not all that important in this matchup, especially if we're not going in on the combo. I'm going to cut a couple of Nettle Sentinels, because they are the least important of all of the cards that we have for the early drop. Just having a 2/2 isn't super important in this matchup. Cut a Dwinnen's Elite, because there's a lot of situations now, especially post-board, where we won't actually have any Elves up. And I'm also going to cut... I don't know what the last cut should be, actually. I think on the draw, we're going to cut a land. I think that there's a really good chance that we'll flood out, because the game's going to go long. Alright, this hand's amazing, so we're going to keep this. Alright, we had a Heritage Druid taken from us, and of course we draw a Heritage Druid like a professional. Alright, our opponent plays a Goyf, which is fine. We're going to go ahead, play this out, and then we'll play Elvish Mystic out. Trying to think if there's any benefit to playing the Tajuru Preserver here. So we could play 1 mana elf, generate 3 mana, play Tajuru Preserver. Let's do that. So we'll play Llanowar Elf, Heritage Druid, and Tajuru Preserver. So if our opponent plays a Liliana, it's not going to work very well against the Tajuru Preserver, which is nice. They kind of need EE on 1. Alright, a tap land is not an EE on 1, so this is good. Alright, our opponent's going to Fatal Push our Druid, that's fine. We'll go ahead and take 3 from the Goyf. Just go ahead and name Elf here. It's not honestly the worst. I think that we want to use the Horizon Canopy here for mana. And we'll get back the Collected Company. And we'll get in for some attacks here. Our opponent had another Fatal Push. But this is still fine. Still in a pretty reasonable position here. Oh man, that was a good draw. Our opponent was able to Collective Brutality to take that. They also pitched an Inquisition of Kozilek, which is good to know. Alright, so we should probably go ahead and cord now. If we cord for... I don't think we brought in the Scavenging Ooze. We don't have Teague. Huh. Alright, I think we're going to just go ahead and get in for 2 here. And then I'm not sure what we want to cord for. So I'm just going to hold up the ability to cord for 3. Alright, let me think of this out. Okay, so we're going to go pay green, pay not green. Alright. Pay green, pay green. Okay, so we've currently corded for 2. So I like that. We'll say done, cord for 2. We're going to get... Was there anything else that would have helped us here? Yeah, not really. Yeah, nothing. If we would have corded for 3, there wasn't much we would have hit that would have been better than what we currently have. So we'll just sacrifice this, give all our stuff indestructible. Which will blank an attack from our opponent. Alright, we drew Revoker, which is a good draw here. We will start by drawing a card. Alright, we drew a Forest, which isn't a very good draw. Alright, we're going to name Jace the Mind Sculptor here. And we'll just pass the turn. All right, our opponent is getting in with the Tar Pit here. Possibly the Goyf also. All right, we need to figure out whether or not we want to chump, and I think we are at the point that we definitely want to chump there because we can rip something like this off the top. And then we could chump here again. We're 6, 8. Otherwise, we have to do... We're taking 7. 7, and then that'll put our opponent dead on the swing back. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So this is 6 damage, which means they need to block. 4, 5. I'm trying to think if they can get another creature type in the graveyard very easily. It would be Artifact, and then we would chump. Seems fine. Opponent's thinking for a way out of this. All right.